We are going to take our four-legged little friends here, go to the dog park, get some new friends, teach them how to be a leader, get some Zoomies and also some bones. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this in just a little bit. I'm going to show you the setup and I'm going to show you all of the components and what you can do in this quite cute little game here. This is made by Magnus Carlsson from Sweden and is published by Fireside Games. And I have the pleasure to have it here in my studio. So let's just take a look at this pretty little game. First thing we need to do is to choose a color that we would like to portray as, and then take all the 8 tokens that corresponds to that color. 4 square tokens and 4 round tokens. Next we need to draw 3 starting tiles and put them faced up next to each other. And these dogs do not need to match. These will be the starting tiles that the players will later match with. We then shuffle the remaining dog tiles face down and give each player 2 tiles. The players may look at their own tiles, but should keep them hidden from other players. The rest of the dog tiles are put face down near the starting tiles. This will be the draw pile. And that was the setup of the game, which goes quite fast. Now we have our tiles and we have our little scoring tokens here. During the game, the players will take turns by placing their tiles. And you need to match at least one of your dogs that you have on your tile with the dogs that are already out on the table itself. Once you have placed one of your tiles, you need to place one of your scoring tokens here to create a scoring opportunity. But let's take a look at the tokens first. The player tokens are double-sided, meaning that you can place them with either side of your choosing. This side here is called the bone side. This side here is called the friend side. This one here is the leader side, while this one here is the Zoomie side. On the dog tiles, there are always 2 dogs out of the 5 possible breeds in this game. Some of these dog tiles also have these icons here. This one up here, the paw, this is the Zoomie icon, and it is always on a dog that is running. And down here we have the bone icon, but I will tell you more about this in a little bit. So depending on which dogs that have been matched and put out on the tables and which tokens that you have put on that dogs, you will of course score different amount of points at the end of the game. But before we take a look at scoring, well, let's take a look at a player's turn. A player's turn is split up into 3 different phases. And the first one is where we actually put out one of our little dog tiles on the board. First you need to choose a tile from your hand that you would like to play and that you can play. Because when you place these, at least one of the dogs needs to match up the dogs that are already placed on the table. Both of them does not need to match. As long as one is matching, that is enough. Plus, you can never place them diagonal. And if you can place a tile, meaning that you do have a dog on your hand matching a dog on the table, well then you need to play that tile. But if you cannot place any tile, meaning that you do not have any matching dogs on your hand with the ones that are on the table, well then you would need to discard the tiles that you have on your hand, and then take up 2 new ones. And then place out the new tile according to the placement rules. Before we move on, we also need to understand pacts. Now, a pact is 1 to several dogs connected, meaning that this lonely dog here is actually a pact, while these 3 ones up here are also a pact. But for a dog to be considered to be in the pact, they need to actually be connected together, meaning that the dog up here, for example, is not a part of the pact down here. And that is the player's first move, to simply place out one of their dog tiles from their hand out on the board itself. The second step is to place out a scoring token, but also here there are some rules. You cannot place more than 1 leader token per pact, and you cannot place more than 1 bone token per pact either. After placing your tile, you may discard the tile in your hand if you wish. Then draw up to a hand of 2 from the draw pile. And that was a player's turn. Not too hard, right? You simply place out a token matching a dog on the table. You place out a scoring token, and then you draw up to 2 tiles on your hand again. Now, let's take a look at how you can actually score from these tokens. The leader token here will let you score 1 point for each dog that are in that pact. Meaning that this player here would score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Now, it is actually possible for 2 players to have a leader token on the same pact. For example, if these were not connected from the start, but later were connected by placed new tiles, well then there might be 2 leader tokens on the same pact. But if this happens, these 2 players simply split the points, rounded down. The bone tokens here can actually be placed on a dog that does not have the bone icon. And at the end of the game, you will score 2 points for each dog that has a bone icon in that pact. You do not score for the token itself, meaning that this player would get 2 + 2 + 2 points, a total of 6 points. Next we have the friends token. Now you take this one and then you put it on one of your pacts with the arrow pointing to another breed. Now this pact becomes the base for counting scores for the friends token. And you will score 2 points for every unique side where a dog in the base pact is adjacent to a dog of the friends breed. Now the same dog may be adjacent to 1 or more sides. So in this case here, the purple player would score on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different places. 2 points per side facing into the breed that the arrow is pointing at. In this case, a total of 16 points. And when it comes to the friends token, several players can actually have their token on the same pact, as long as the arrow is pointing to different breeds. Plus, the same 2 breeds may become friends a second time, as long as the new base pact is different from the first base pact. The last one we have is the Zoomies token. Now this one can only be placed on a dog that has the paw print. When you place this one, you are allowed to immediately place the second tile from your hand, according to placement rules. But on this tile, you do not place any score tokens. Now, at the end of the game, you will score points according to this token. And you will score depending on how many Zoomie dogs you have managed to connect. If you have connected 1, you will score 1 point. 2, you will score 3 points, 3, you will score 6, and so on. So in this case here, this player have managed to connect 1, 2, 3, 4 dogs, and would score 10 points. Now, another player would not be allowed to place their Zoomie token on a group of Zoomie dogs that already have a Zoomie token on them. And that's the way you score on your little score tokens here. And the game will actually end once all players have placed their last scoring token or discarded. And then we go through counting all the little points that we have hopefully made. Whoever has the most points is the winner of this pretty cute little game. And that, my friend, is how you play Zoomies, a nice little game where you place out some dog tiles and scoring tiles. When you first see the game, you think this is like a little kid's game. It will be simple, right? But there's actually a lot of strategy going on here. You really need to plan ahead when you place out the dogs. You really need to plan when you place out the scoring tiles to make the most of it. And it's a bit harder than it looks like, actually. But what I like here is that there's no text here, so it's language independent, meaning that you do not need to be able to read English to understand how to play the game. As long as you know the rules or someone explains them for you, well then you can just sit down and play. It's really easy to learn, but it's quite hard to master. The artwork in the game is bright, it's light, it's cartoonish, and it's really fun. This is a nice game for the family. There's no dark art here. There's no blood. It's all just fun little cute dogs running around trying to make friends and Zoomies. There you have it, my friend. This was Zoomies from Fireside Games. A nice, colorful, light little game. Easy to learn, fast to set up, fast to tear down, but still a lot of strategy in it. Quite like this one. If you want to know more, well, go to the links down in the description and it will take you straight to its page. If you like this video, well, why not give me a thumbs up? Throw in a comment there. Tell me what your favorite dog is. I don't know. But most importantly, my friend, please remember to keep on spreading that board gaming love I know you all have. Peace out, my brothers.